EVs create more pollution than internal combustion engine vehicles. It's just another FUD. So who are you going to call?
FUD Busters.
This is the long tailpipe myth, the notion that EVs generate more carbon dioxide emissions than internal combustion engine vehicles do. This has been debunked by so many scientific studies. A lot of the contrary studies proving EVs are dirtier came into being from studies that were basically funded by manufacturers of fossil fuel vehicles and the oil and gas industry. Even Aston Martin was linked to a study through a company called Clarendon Communications that showed EVs needed to travel 48,000 miles or 65,000 kilometres before they were considered cleaner. Debunked. Also, some of these studies have been shown to have had no researchers involved, and many were funded by fossil fuel friendly interests. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? So these studies, they basically grossly underestimated battery life, overestimated emissions during battery cell production, and underestimated the emissions from petrol and diesel production. I will admit that battery production is carbon intensive, but if you take into account everything from well or mine all the way through to the grave in both EV manufacturing and use, and ICE cars and the petrol and diesel all the way through to refinement and its use, the EVs come out well ahead. One of the latest studies debunking this long tailpipe myth came from Yale University, which showed that EVs have a clear emissions advantage over ICE vehicles. And another study from Eindhoven University, published a couple of years ago, entitled Comparing the Lifetime Greenhouse Gas Emissions of Electric Vehicles with the Emissions of Cars Using Gasoline or Diesel. It's a mouthful and a half, isn't it? And that was authored by Åke Hoekstra and Professor Martin Steinbuch. They showed that EVs emit half the greenhouse gases of their fossil fuel counterparts. Another common thing that people quote is, your EV charges up from the dirtiest electric source, i.e. coal-fired power stations. But even then, if it was 100% fueled from coal-fired powered stations, it's still cleaner. But nowadays there's a mix of dirty and clean or renewably sourced power making up the complete mix. And many EVs charged at home from solar panels, such as mine. Virtually all of my charging's done at home from solar panels. So if we take a quick look at this carbon counter, the black ones are internal combustion engines, gasoline or petrol. The grey ones in here have got internal combustion engine diesel vehicles. Then the reddy pinky ones are hybrid and plug-in hybrid, and the yellow ones are battery electric. And there's one there, a Toyota Mirai, which is a fuel cell vehicle. So you can actually run your mouse over these and see what cars they're referring to. And this is plotted the costs of vehicle fuel and maintenance. This is from the US, so it's US dollars per month, against greenhouse gas emissions, the life cycle grams of CO2 equivalent per mile. And you can actually go up here and adjust the things. But as you can see here, the battery electric vehicles and even some of these plug-in hybrids do very, very nicely, emitting much fewer greenhouse gas emissions than some of these up here, which are really chucking out a lot of greenhouse gas emissions per mile. It's not only CO2 type emissions that we need to be worried about. Diesel vehicles especially are notorious for pushing out SOx and NOx, or sulfur dioxide, nitrous dioxide gases, as well as particulate matter. And these cause a lot of health problems. According to a website, theworldcounts.com, 8.9 million people are killed every year by air pollution. But it's not only air pollution from car exhausts that are killing people, it's affecting reproduction, leading to an increased risk of cancer and birth defects. Air pollution is obviously worse in cities, and the World Health Organization has listed 500 cities across the world where the limits of particulate matter, and that's both PM2.5 and PM10, exceeds the maximum recommended levels by a factor of more than 2.5. So it's not just CO2 emissions we need to be worried about, but the exhaust emissions from ongoing ICE vehicle use is causing more deaths than vehicular accidents. There was 1.35 million people worldwide in 2016, according to the World Health Organization, who were killed in car accidents. So this long tailpipe FUD is going to be around for a long time, I believe, despite the fact that it's been well and truly shot down. A lot of people just keep bringing it up, and we've got to put up with it, try and educate people, especially in the media, because they keep bringing up these studies that are funded by suspicious groups, shall we say. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to this channel so that it gets promoted to other people to see, so that they can also learn.